All right, I'm on hole number 8 of the Big Game 9-hole cup. In practice, checking them out. We got new pin placements on the Milano. So now I want to do one round just so that I can see what the holes look like with the new pin placement. And some of them I like. Now this is a hole right here that this is a great opportunity for eagle. You still have to get some work done. Now, when the hole first came out, I thought, okay, so where I'm going to hit is from here going over to this area, trying to get up as far as you can. You're in short iron range from over here, and you have a great opportunity. This is one of those holes that if you hit it perfect, it's going to go in. And we have in the past always done a 10% on the drive and on the second shot. And that's what Tommy's got, so he agrees. So coming from here and going over. So getting it down into this area, you can do this with an extra mile, works fine down here. You don't have to bring out a big ball. I think you can do it with a katana. You can do it with a marlin. But if you want to get into this area so you don't have to do any overpower depending on which way the wind's blowing, try and pick a consistent ball in this. Because we're not going to have to pick out something that's bigger than a power 3 ball. Maybe depending on the way the wind's blowing in rookie, you might have to bring out a power 3 ball, but I'm pretty sure you can do this with a katana. When this hole first came out, my whole deal was, hey, like, is it possible? This is like the ancient aliens. Isn't it possible that if we can get a bounce down in here and we draw a line out to our spot and we do our arc, we're looking at being out into this area. And so if we draw the line going out in here, we've got to cover this angle in order to get up into this area. But you're not going to get much farther than that. If you do the arc out here, you're not really doing yourself any more favors than you are here. But we now have topspin boost balls, which we didn't have when this hole first came out. So, like a topspin boost ball can get you farther forward. So when the hole first came out, I was like all over this. I was like, hell yeah, I'm going to try and max overpower hook here. And these trees over here, bop, hit the tree. Bop, hit the tree. And there's some of these holes, and I can't remember if this was one of them, where like there was some possibility to do a max overpower hook, and then they did an update, and then there was all of a sudden like a tree grew out here, like they went and planted a tree out in the area, and it like was right the hell in the way. But I don't think, unless they've cut some of these trees down, I don't think that there is a max overpower hook shot that you can do here because of the vegetation that's out in this area. So I think we're going to be stuck here. Now, I have seen some people just head out into this area and try and drive it straight forward, and helps you avoid this whole getting it over thing. But if you can get into short iron range, you can recover from down here as long as you don't end up in the drink. And I really don't know that I've seen a lot of people ever end up in the drink. Like if you screw up here, you're usually getting caught up. But I suppose it could be possible. I suppose it could be. All right, let's go check it out. I'm gonna bring a katana and my number 1 bag. I'm pretty sure, depending on which way the wind's blowing, if you got an upper developed rock, you can probably take it with a rock. But I'm gonna bring my number 1 and a katana. And if the katana doesn't work, I will bring a Titan, the king of balls. Hey, I don't want to enter that. What's funny to me about that golf class challenge is when the apps first came out, Golf Clash had a thing like that. You banned the use of apps. Like they didn't want you to use apps. You weren't supposed to use grids. You weren't supposed to do any of that stuff. Hell, when the game first came out, they only wanted you to have one account. Like they made it like very difficult to set up more than one account and be able to save it. And they were down on it. They did not want you to have more than one account. Now people got 15 accounts and they don't give 2 shits and a fuck, because part of the deal is that they realize that if you're using a practice account and you've got balls in your main account, you got to have those same balls in your practice account. Otherwise, the practice account doesn't do any good. So now we've got 2 customers, but we only have 1 person that's doing the purchasing. But when the apps came out, the grids and the app, they were down on that. They sent out stuff. They will ban you for life. I remember shooting a video where I was like, talking about like whether or not I should use an app or whether I should use a grid. And I really miss my grid. I've tried out a bunch of different grids, and none of them are as good as the grid that I had. But the grid that I have, Google will not let it overlay because it's not in the Google store. It works fine, but Google's security thing, and I went in and turned that off and said, I don't give two shits about your security thing. And they're like, well, we don't care whether you like it or not. We're going to make it so it does this. How much top spin I got on there? 3, 4. I'm put on that much. 2, 3. But they were super down on it. Well, with the golf, with the challenge, now like you're at a marketed disadvantage if you're not using the app, because you're doing with, you know, random, who knows what level clubs are going to be, and so if you're not, and I think I hit it too far. It always looks like when you're taking that shot that second bounce is going to clip in that rough, but it usually will clear. All right, I'm going to be in short iron, and this is going to be good. So going back to that, it just amazes me like how much they've changed their deal. I'm sure because if you're using an app and you're playing the challenge, you have a much better opportunity. 1.1, 1.6, 2.2. That, my friends, is no bueno. Let's see where I'm at in my club. Oh, I'm in wedge. Shit. I'm way up there. My wedge is 1.2 per ring. Let's see if I can get a little teeny bit. I don't like being right there on that transition is the problem. So 3.2 equals divided by 1.2. 2.93 rings. 2.93, I'm going to move it 3, and I'm going to run out of time. There's 3, and some. I screwed that up. That's good. That's good. That's good. It's not as bad now as it used to be, but you did not want to hit on the transitional lines because there was the way that the smoothing worked is there was actually a little bit of a ridge there. So if you hit on the fringe, you were fine. If you hit on the green, you were fine. But if you hit right at the point, your ball would immediately flatten out and just fly off the course. Okay. 1.1 times 3.5 equals divided by 1.2. 3.2 rings. See if I can make a good adjustment this time. There's 3, 2. Hitting it perfect. Get in the hole. Get in the hole. Where I was at. Probably need to add on +1. Very nice. Like that distance. Usually, that's good to know if you want to hit. I was pretty close up there in the front, kind of risking it with that. And so you're either going to be in max wedge or you're going to be in now I could have used my short iron with that headwind and I could have put on backspin. My short iron has tons of backspin. And if we would have had, but the thing is where I was at, I was able to work out any kind of wind. So if you can get up there far enough, even with a 2-power ball, it does look like you're going to be in a wedge, and that's even better. I have to work on that adjustment on that. So I need to go through and redo my hand sheet because I've got a sheet next to me that's got all of my numbers on there for all my clubs. But on some of the clubs, I don't have it fine-tuned. I just have base numbers. I like it. I think we got I think that new pin placement's going to work out fine for us. I don't think there's going to be any issues with that. So there we have it. That was hole number 8 of the Big Game 9-hole cup. Thanks for watching.